Welcome to a brand new 5 Heart podcast live on a Thursday night, 9 o'clock Central on Core Nation's YouTube, Facebook, and X. I am Greg Mahochko. You know this man to my left, your right, as Fred Sacco. You probably know of him as a few other things as well, but in the interest of keeping this at least PG-13, we're not going to mention those other things you may know him as. Fred, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing well. I'm wearing my Italian stallion shirt. And, one of the names Greg said, and, sometimes when you're young and in college, you need the money. So there you go. But yeah, I'm just happy to be here, fresh off the Santa Lucia Festival opening night. I got my wristband for drinking and the Italian one's stuck under there too. But yeah, I just got back from that. Bottle of Chianti, couple of Moretti's.
Wait.
Nice. No, go ahead.
Bottle of Chianti. Did you have any fava beans?
I did not. Nope, didn't. Sorry.
Okay.
No, I had some pumpkin seeds, though, and they were really good. And a great meatball sandwich.
Okay. I had leftover chicken enchilada. So we'll both regret our decisions later.
We'll see what happens. I don't know. Depends on how those pumpkin seeds cut through me at midnight or so. But yeah, we'll be okay.
Well,
Greg likes chicken enchiladas and getting caught in the rain. So that's great.
Were you making a Rupert Evans? Rupert Holmes pina colada.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that.
We're riffing, Greg. I didn't prepare it all, so this is what you get.
This is great. Hey, shout out to the folks who are here and joining us so far in the chat. Husker Chuck is here with the GBR. Double O Dana says Thursday night. Woohoo! And back for the first time in a long time, we have missed our friend Melissa. So good evening, Melissa. And Nebraska Strong is here, says Husker Power. Roger Moore with the GBR. And this one guy says he was first at 342 SAC FA. I don't know what that guy's problem is.
What a weirdo. What a loser. That guy sucks.
And Husker Chuck just throwing a really depressing comment into the chat. So I don't know if I would get into that one. We'll do it. Husker Chuck says that someone was shot 2 blocks from his house this morning. Tragic.
Chuck, do you live around Ralston area?
Likely.
Blink twice if you need help.
I said tragic, likely senseless.
Yeah.
Hopefully the perpetrator is found and brought to
justice. Yes. Yeah, I know what he's talking about. Yeah, that sucks. Hate to hear it.
Well, we are here to talk about fun things. Vince Watson is here. Greetings, fellow bug eaters. And what do you drink? I got to say, I still haven't had any alcohol since I was out of town a couple of weeks ago. So I'm drinking water tonight. What are you drinking?
I'm having a Starburst IPA from Site 1 Brewing, just down the street, 25th and Farnham for those of our Omaha folks. And if you get a chance, go down there. They've been hit by the issues with the new streetcar, and it's really blocked off, and it's hard to get there. Greg, raising your hand in the back.
Is the streetcar named Desire?
No, it is named Misery, and it's probably going to kill a bunch of businesses because I don't know how it passed, but yeah, it's the area that it's going in. It's incrementally just blocking everything off from a lot of places. And Site 1 Brewing, they got their name from. They were initially going to be a consortium of sorts where they would have other brewers and other local people that just like making beer get together and brew beers. And unfortunately for them, they started late 2019 and then they weathered 2020.
Right.
And they were doing okay. But then now the streetcar business is it's decimating that whole stretch they're in. And so I try to frequent them as much as I can and buy their beer because it's good beer and it's local people. So yeah. Anyways, off my soapbox, but it's a nice IPA, real good. Yep.
COVID hit. There was a restaurant / brewery here in Belleville, Illinois, and COVID hit them really hard. But I remember pre-COVID on the other podcast that I used to do, the co-host of the year, Mike Luther, and I, we did a couple of shows inside the brewery where we sat down, we talked like our nerdy shit, and talked with the brewmaster at the time and learned about the beers, and then got to drink beer. So
nice.
I love those local breweries, and I hope that the one that you're referencing there, because continues to weather the storm and excel. So
definitely, yeah.
All right. Well, we got to get the show rolling after the Ralston situation with that Husker Chuck told. We have more bad news for Husker fans, but not as tragic news as that. And this is a horrible segue because it's like comparing apples and Studebakers.
Yeah.
But
murder and baseball. Yeah, good. Yeah, that's all right.
Two spring sports seasons came to an end this past Sunday. Try saying that 10 times fast. But yes, baseball, their season came to an end in their Lincoln Regional. They won the first game last Friday night against South Dakota State 4-1. Unfortunately, I didn't think to reach out to Rostovsky or anybody who follows baseball closer than I you read things, you pick up on a few things, some of the bitching online saying that, like consistent pitching and things like that. They went up against Ole Miss, who is number 18. Of course, Nebraska entered the postseason number 20, lost to Ole Miss in a rain delay, like start on Saturday, finish on Sunday game. They lost that 6-3. And then later on Sunday being eliminated by number 22, Arizona State, 11-8. So their season did come to an end this past Sunday, Fred. And but I'll tell you what, huge crowds at the Haymarket, which is no surprise for a team that finished 43-17, and I believe hosted their first regional since 2008.
Yeah, great showing. I mean, I don't know that they hit the 10,000 fans we talked about a week ago, but I think it was well over 8. And I mean, that's what we do. We show up, and our teams are good. And sometimes people will say things, oh, you lose, and but they're making it this far. All these teams they're succeeding. They're getting, forward momentum, and it's like it's a good thing. So yeah, it sucks that it ended that way, but it sounded like we kind of ran out of gas a little bit from the bits and pieces I read, pitching and things like that. I'm not a baseball expert. Rostovsky's your guy, but yeah, it sucks, but man, that's great. They're really good. What are you going to do?
Kind of like we mentioned last week, is that when you look at all of the D1 teams, all the athletic programs, there were 3 schools that had the highest number of teams enter, that reached some form of postseason, and it was Tennessee, Texas, and Nebraska. So across the board, Nebraska athletics are doing something right. It's just unfortunate, as we've said. We'll talk about it. Certainly, we'll get to football. But the one that's the most high profile in our state and most likely in our hearts is the one that's like kind of the anchor that's dragging us down just a little bit. So we hope we can turn the tide on that to keep our nautical theme going.
Yep, true north, as it were.
So, true north, and then on the softball side, they also lost, and wouldn't you know, they lost to Texas to be eliminated, winning in 10 innings. It was an exciting one last Thursday. We were kind of tracking that right here on the show, beating number 10 Arkansas 5-3 in 10 innings. They turned around on Saturday and lost 5-1 to Alabama, and then 3-1 on Sunday to Texas. I have to share this with you. So I think, as to an extent, we all have like group chats with family. At least, I hope we do. Hope everybody's as blessed to just have group chats or family. But I got a text last Friday from my sister. It is a group text between my sister and myself and my mom. And the funny thing is, like, Dad's not in it because he doesn't ever look at his phone, and Mom just tells him everything anyway. So my sister says to me last Saturday before the Nebraska, I already forgot the Nebraska game on Saturday against Alabama. She says, "Sorry, Greg, Bryn, that's my niece, is back on the anti-Nebraska wagon." And I just responded a couple minutes later, said, "Bryn who?" Like, I don't have any relatives who are anti-Nebraska, so But yeah, so that it's very unfortunate that had to happen on the same day felt like a double whammy for Husker fans too. So
yeah, it sucked. We were watching the softball at a place called the Casual Pint. Saw the opening home run and kind of into it, and then we ducked out, went to an art fair, and then my friend Jerry, who's been in the chat many times, has texted me updates. Oh, 3-run homer! Oh my god! And then it was like, fuck, I don't even want to see it now. And then the men kind of battled back, but yeah, that just golly, yeah, shitty deal.
Yeah, so the softball team again entering postseason, number 1 team in the country. They had a tremendous run, 52-8. And I think it was you who was giving me crap because we were talking about Delta Dawn last week on the show, and you said I've never heard that song before then, and then it got stuck in your head.
I hadn't. It's stuck in my brain ever since. I listened to it late at night. That was the problem. It was like I saw like the 13-year-old version of that lady singing it, and then a newer version, and then other things. And it was like, God, and I'm still humming it as I'm driving down the road. I'm like, God damn, get in your head.
You're going to be drifting off to sleep tonight with a Delta Dawn in your mind again.
It's like a church.
Nebraska
yeah.
They finished 23-1 in the conference, 52-8 on the season. They were 20-1 at home, 17-1 on the road, 15-6 in neutral site games, a winning percentage of .958. And the longest losing streak that they had was 2 games. So they really strung a really nice season together. They need, I think, some more credit for what they accomplished. But when it's tough when you get into postseason play. This is I've been saying this for years. This is common knowledge, but when you get into postseason, there's only one winner. Everybody else is going to end their season on a loss, and that's what happened with Nebraska, men and women. So,
yeah, it's tough, but we made it. We did something. We made noise. We were, we were right there, and those percentages, I didn't even know that. So it's like that is ridiculously impressive. So yeah, it's a bummer, and I think the pitching coach, she retired, right?
Yes. So I have some information on that. Lori Sippel, who has been associated with Nebraska softball essentially since 1985. So almost my whole life. Think about that. She played 4 seasons at Nebraska from 85 to 88 and has been on the coaching staff since 1990. And she's their assistant head coach and pitching coach, like you said. And she retired this past Tuesday. This is from Huskers.com. In her 41 total seasons, right, as a player and a coach, helped the Huskers to 1,449 wins, 18 conference titles, 26 NCAA tournament appearances. So,
bravo.
She was the 2002 National Assistant Coach of the Year, a 5-time member of the NFCA Midwest Region Coaching Staff of the Year. So, just tremendous legacy. And, this article goes on to say that, as a pitching coach, what she did, and Minnie, who is in the chat tonight, saying that, I had to scroll up. So it's there. All right.
Talk about fireworks.
Alexis Jensen is an amazing backup pitcher, and she's only a freshman. The article mentions Jensen by name, saying that Sippel's final season with the program may have been her best. She helped Jordy Frahm, who we'll mention or talk about in a moment, and Alexis Jensen to conference and national recognition. Jensen, the Big Ten Freshman of the Year and an All-American. And, of course, Jordy Frahm, the USA Softball Collegiate Player of the Year and Big Ten Pitcher of the Year. So it is not just Lori Sippel that's stepping, that's retiring, but, of course, Jordy Frahm as well has exhausted her eligibility. And we can't say enough about her contributions in her time here, as limited as it was in Nebraska since she started her career down in Norman, Oklahoma, of course. But what a pitching staff and what a bright future for Nebraska softball.
Yeah. I don't know the equivalent, but it's like McBride leaving Nebraska, retiring. Like it's like somebody that's like a huge part of the whole thing. And yeah, I don't know anything about it. I was reading about it leading up to this, but that's great. Good for her though. Get out while you're somewhat on top, and eventually it's kind of like, I feel like everything's like Lethal Weapon movies. Like after a while, like I'm too old for this shit, just like you keep going and you get to that precipice like they did. And it's like, okay, I just, it's got to be exhausting, all the work they put in.
So mentioning Jordy Frahm, and Melissa says kind of what we all found out maybe Monday or Tuesday after Nebraska was eliminated. Not that just that Jordy pitched while being 3 months pregnant. Jordy played, well, you could almost say the bulk of the season while being pregnant, which is kudos, for, I guess, for first of all, congratulations to her and her husband. But what a, that'd be a tough call to make, props to her dedication, certainly, and what she was able to accomplish.
Yeah. I remember back in the day, I'd play a pickup football game after eating a $5 footlong at Subway and feel like I was going to die. So I could imagine playing like a whole season of college athletics, like that. So yeah, I'm curious. I mean, I don't know. I don't track these things, but that's the first I've ever heard of that. I wonder how many other times that's happened. That's phenomenal.
And I don't know, maybe we hear about it because she's a Nebraska player, and maybe if it's outside of our sphere, it doesn't hit us from the news standpoint. But it still what an accomplishment. I guess a few accomplishments that she's had this spring, and then interesting theory. I think we'll just leave it as a theory by Melissa saying bets that Jordy will take the pitching coach job.
Oh,
and I'm not necessarily opposed to it. I just don't know if you throw as qualified from a player standpoint as Jordy Frahm is. I don't know if your first job as a coach is the pitching coach at Nebraska. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's maybe I don't know. What do you think?
No, I know what you're saying, and it's kind of like, well, we always do that here, though.
Yeah.
Sue leaves, make him the D-line coach.
Right.
It's just one of those things. It makes sense emotionally, but in the whole scheme of things, and just experience-wise, I think you would want somebody that's been around the horn a little bit more than somebody that's right there. I don't know. I mean, well, you had a broadcasting degree. I got one too. And when I was in college, you're adjacent, but
yeah, right.
With mine, it was like, we got our degrees and they're like, well, go away and then come back when you have experience.
Yeah.
Before you go to the big three in town kind of a thing. So I think it could be something like that in that sense with somebody coming in at that young. Maybe they got to go another direction,
I'll say what Jordy would have going for if that was, something that she was even interested in pursuing is familiarity with the program, certainly, camaraderie with the roster. And I think being that she's 23, 24, I'm not entirely sure, but youth and being able to relate to potential recruits, like I was going to make the worst comparison, it'd be like Bryce Benhart going to be in the offensive line coach. But like, that's a horrible, that's Bryce Benhart to the offensive line is not Jordy Frahm to the pitching staff, Your Ndamukong Suh is more, more on target, as Dana Williams says here, a generational talent for sure. So I don't know. She's got, I'm assuming she has her degree. She's gonna be starting a family as a new parent. I don't even want to speculate what she might be thinking is her next step. So,
well, with that factor, like she could do anything at this point.
USA softball, realistically.
Yeah. So it's like, why would you want to just, I mean, not like it's, but the future's wide open. So, I mean, that's great. It'd be a great position to be in. But yeah, I don't know that she just jump on this and do it, you know.
I mean, she's 3 months pregnant, so she's known she was pregnant. I don't know, it was at least a month, give or take, and continue to play. She's got that competitive fire. I don't know if she's ready to retire from the game, you know. So,
and that too. Yeah.
We'll see. We will, we'll continue to watch her career unfold, I suppose, as it would. So, all right, let's take a look here. Nothing really, not to say nothing. I'm not trying to gloss over our commenters. Just
Greg saying you guys are simpletons. It's rubbed off.
No.
I'm fucking around.
But we have some news from baseball. Some postseason recognition as Dylan Carey, and I have that, is a finalist for the Brooks Wallace Award, which is honoring the nation's top shortstop. And Carey is he's the second Husker in program history to be a finalist for this award. It is presented by the College Baseball Foundation, named for former Texas Tech shortstop, you'll never believe his name, Brooks Wallace. He played for the Red Raiders from 1977 to 1980, died of leukemia at the age of 27. So there's a Georgia Tech player, a UCLA player, California Baptist player, and North Carolina player, who are all the other 4 finalists, along with Dylan Carey. Carey, a senior, he was the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year and a first-team All-Big Ten player. Hit .353 this season, 16 doubles, 2 triples, 15 homers, 65 RBIs, and 53 runs scored. He is the Nebraska all-time leader in career doubles and is the 9th player in program history to reach 200 career hits. He also had a .981 fielding percentage and 29 double plays as a shortstop. So,
no, that's great. Like, I mean, that's amazing that a Dylan could do so well in Nebraska. You know, I'm just saying, like, I mean,
there was one competent Dylan in Nebraska.
There was, and the other one was, you know, riding around on a scooter eating Krispy Kreme. So here we are.
Oh, that's fantastic. So that's one Nebraska baseball postseason potential accolade, and the other is Jay-Sean Unger, who is one of 14 finalists for the 21st Annual National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association Stopper of the Year, which is the nation's top relief pitcher. Unger is 5th nationally, 13 saves this season. That's the 3rd most in a season by a Husker pitcher in program history. He had 13 saves, as mentioned, also posted a 6-1 record, 4.05 ERA in 40 innings across 25 appearances, striking out 39 and limiting opposing batters to a 2.03 average. So,
no, that's great. I mean, and I saw on Coronation that we have like 2 really good pitchers and somebody else coming in.
We don't know where they were this past weekend.
Yeah. They're coming in, and it's like, so we're kind of like reloading in baseball. So that's going to be pretty sweet. You know, get some guys in there and just fucking plug them in. I mean, it's like we're the Signetti of baseball, really, pulling all these JUCOs, and it's nice. It'll work. I'm happy. I admittedly, I don't follow all these things to the very end, but I am proud when I hear about everybody talking about all of our teams kicking ass, you know, and yeah, like people like Christopher Foote that cry about whatever and their team sucks, whatever they do. But it's like ours are consistently good at everything except for football right now.
Yeah.
And that's awesome, you know.
Well, we're going to transition away from the spring sports and get to a winter sport that's near and dear to your heart, Fred.
Oh.
There is a wrestling commit for Nebraska for 2027. Name is Mac Crossan, and he competed in the U20 and U23 tournaments and made an impressive consolation run And at the same time, it was Camden McDaniel, who is was in the finals at the 197-pound championship, and he wins a Team USA spot, if I'm reading this all correctly.
Nice.
Yes, winning his U23 freestyle national championship and securing his spot on Team USA's 2026 U23 world team. So not the Olympics, but and I thought I saw something where Ridge Lovett was competing for RAF. Are you familiar with that? I believe.
Yes. Yeah. It's like a Real American Freestyle, I believe.
Correct.
Yeah. I didn't know that. That's great. Good for him.
Look, for wrestling fans, if you're not on flowwrestling.com, you at least need to continue to go to coronation.com, because anytime there's anything that's like even tangentially Nebraska wrestling related, we got our man Dylan Gunther, who not to be confused with any other Dylans.
He's good.
He's one of the best wrestling writers you'll find. So again, make sure that you are bookmarking coronation.com for all the wrestling news. So
that guy's credentials are great, and freestyle is a different animal than college wrestling, the folk style, but still the locks, the throws, the upper body stuff is and just the overall flexibility is like it's key. So it's to be that good and be on those teams going in 2026, and he's coming here. That's fucking great.
I remember a wrestler by the name of Tanner Farmer, who's from not too far from me in Highland, who was at the time, he was at his age, he was the national champion Greco-Roman wrestler who came on and did all right for Nebraska football as a interior lineman.
That's right. Yeah.
Eventually a center. So
linemen are usually wrestlers make great linemen. Both sides of the ball. And we had the one oddball that was Dan Alexander, the running back, 6'2", 245, but he was a great wrestler out of Missouri. Well as running. And so the thing that floored me is the man could just not hang on to the ball. Just killed me. But he was quick as fuck, and he outran the great Ben Kelly from Colorado on like a long touchdown run, and Kelly was a small DB, and Alexander just fucking paced him. The guy was a phenomenal athlete. And I think he played a little bit for the Jacksonville, for just a little bit. But great wrestler, really good running back. But usually, linemen are the key. I remember Farmer. Yeah, good stuff.
Like The Replacements, the classic movie with Keanu Reeves and Gene Hackman, how they get the sumo wrestler to be the offensive lineman. He's like, that's what pass blocking is.
Yep.
Pushing.
Yep, it's sumo. Kind of, but not really. But I love that movie.
The comment of the night here. So, and I know we're only halfway through the show, but possible comment of the night. Nebraska Strong GBR says, we need a Husker pro wrestling team. Greg can play as the Ultimate Warrior.
Do it.
The only problem with that is, I don't know, Fred, you remember, but anybody else maybe who they may not remember Ultimate Warrior's ring entrance, where it's just purely sprinting up the aisle. I'd be gassed. Like I'd be like, no, maybe that's why his matches only lasted 20 seconds.
So was he. So yeah, Greg, you get in there, you throw 3 clotheslines. You probably can't press slam anybody, but you could splash them. That'd be enough to wipe them out. But yeah, so you could do. I'd be your manager. I could do that.
Oh, great.
I'll just talk shit, threaten people. Fred the Brain Sacco. Yeah, the ultimate Mahachko. There we go.
That'd be about the only thing that I could do is paint my face.
That's all right. We'd make it work.
Husker Chuck is not wrong. Instead of shaking the ropes like Warrior, Greg would be draped over the ropes, wheezing.
We'd be putting an oxygen mask on your face. Get him in there, guys. Come on, Greg.
Oh gosh.
Come on, Greg. Hold up 2 minutes. All you got to do.
But you're right. About all I could do is a splash.
I can't sprint anymore either. So yeah. The flatulent macho.
You know what,
No.
Pitt? I'm going to highlight this just because I'm proud of you. You spelled flatulent correct.
I am shocked. I mean, I just picture him in his garage, like shaking his fist at the screen, coming up with comments, and I love Pitt. He's the best.
He
And Minnie and Roger and everybody else that I like. So yeah.
He botched the last name, but that's all right. We're not going to. We don't put that on in the public sphere.
Mahachko.
Suck it.
No.
All right. Well, let's turn our attention now to the fall, and specifically, we're going to turn our attention to the future because last weekend there was the competition that we've seen. We've seen a couple of Nebraska players participate in the Elite 11. And there was one future Husker who was named the Rivals MVP. And I do want to make sure I stressed, I thought I was under the misconception, perhaps, that it was just the MVP of the whole thing, but they won't actually name the Elite 11 MVP until the end of June. But Millard South's very own Trey Taylor is the Rivals Elite 8 MVP for the camp that was this past weekend. I saw some video clips from it. There was one, I wish I kept the tweet, but there was one frequenter, one analyst who says, you know what, you're only going to see 5 or 6 guys, hit most of these throws, but Trey Taylor hit them all. Like just talking about where he was able to put the ball in play, just seemed like he had a really phenomenal camp. Still a 4-star, and I think that if he were committed to, a couple of different schools in the Big Ten or half the schools in the SEC, I'm pretty sure that he would be considered a 5-star. Still a 4-star, but I do like the fact that Trey continues to be all in, if you will. His family's now in the greater Omaha area. He's going to be going to Millard South, as I mentioned. And Nebraska, I think, is getting themselves a really, really solid player and person.
I think so, too. And he seems humble, considering all the hype and all the press and pub that's going on and whatnot. And his dad continually speaking out about how he's not looking at anybody else. Like, I like that. Whereas, the other guy said all the right things. He, quote unquote, recruited for us and all that. Same as Trey Taylor. It's like pushing people to get here. But I appreciate the fact that they are really walking it like they talk at night. I mean, I'm one to not believe any of the commitment stuff. Get me to September, like we said before.
Yeah.
Who's here at that time. But I mean, my God, this guy is kicking ass at every level. His family's all in. He's all in. I got to take it at face value. I like it. I feel good about it. If he flips, whatever. I know Ohio State and I think LSU are coming after him pretty hard. But whatever. If he sticks with us, it shows he's really all in, because I bet they have a lot more money than we do to drop on a quarterback. So God bless him.
We've got to back up briefly back to the wrestling conversation, because Don Dre says the Hulk Hogan had no wrestling experience when he started in pro wrestling, so you should go for it, Greg. But Hulk Hogan was a lifelong wrestling fan, if you listen and read enough. And then Minnie in competition with Nebraska Strong, I believe, for comment of the night, says Greg has the body of a wrestler. The problem,
from 1960.
let me finish. The problem is that it's not like John Cena. It's more like King Kong Bundy.
No, you're like
George the Animal Steel.
Look up George Scrap Iron Gadaski or somebody like that. It's like Greg's like 70s to 80s wrestler. And I am too. Like the Bruiser or the Crusher. Yeah.
That's pretty generous. So it was a good weekend for Trey. They also put out the Elite 11 superlatives. And what we have there are strongest arm, Trey Taylor. We have, and I'm going to do these out of order. Quickest release, Israel Abrams, Miami commit. Most accurate is Peyton Houston, an LSU commit. A gamer, by the way, the only 5-star on the list, Will Menzel, who's going to be making sure that Dylan doesn't see the field at Oregon. Then you had best footwork is Jake Nalrot, the Kentucky commit, and then best mechanics is Braylon Warren, a 3-star Missouri Tiger commit. But the one that I skipped over, I'm really interested in your take, Fred, as well as anybody in the chat who wants to weigh in. Most upside is the 4-star Ole Miss commit Keegan Croucher. I almost feel like that might be the best, like, superlative of any of those listed.
I mean, it kind of is, but I mean, upside for all of the above, or just how do you gauge that? Like, I don't know how they come up with these things sometimes. Like, is he a little rough around the edges and you coach him up? I don't. How do you figure that? I guess my question.
Yeah. And I don't know. I just feel like when I hear most upside, I think of like highest ceiling.
Mm.
You know.
Or a guy that's like a ridiculous kick-ass athlete, like,
yeah.
you know. And I think back in the day, I think, and even in like the last 5 years, I think Scott Frost came in with quickest release. I'm not sure about that, but you know, otherwise, yeah, most upside, definitely. I don't know. And the Braylon kid is going to West Side, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
I think I said to Haas, because I sent him something about the Elite 11 over the weekend, and I said, well, where the heck's this Braylon Warren? Like, why don't we have anything on him? And he said, he's going to Missouri. Like, he committed to Mizzou. So, which we see here. So that's disappointing. But he said, I think he made the comment of, hopefully with Warren, Westside can give Millard South a pretty competitive run.
I don't see it. I mean, I don't know. Millard South is just like an all-star team at this point. They just stockpile, so it's like it's going to be tough, but we'll see.
Yeah, because it's, of course, not just Trey Taylor, but Tay Ellis is also there. And that's the thing is, after the day after the Elite 11, they were back. You know, Trey was back in Omaha, practicing with his teammates. So I do wonder, to that end, you know, I understand that they have the summer to, you know, get to know one another, gel, whatever. But when you're taking pieces from across the country, you're kind of like dropping them in. And I don't, not to say just like Millard South, but and maybe IMG Academy is different because IMG, they're all the elite, you know, talent, and you know, they're all good enough that they can play their schedule and beat anybody realistically on their schedule because they're all 5-star kids, and so it doesn't matter. But you think of, at least I think of, what Nebraska prep football is supposed to be like, the purity of, they're just kids who've been playing football since Pop Warner together, and it's not that anymore. And I know it's not that, you know, it's just idyllic dream, but then you have these superstars coming in and dropping in, and I'm assuming they have it. I guess it'd be no different for a lot of them from starting their freshman year at college, where they're coming in, they've you know, like what Dylan was doing with taking his receivers or offensive linemen out to dinner. So I'm sure it all works.
And here, I mean, the not like I'm taking a shot at the talent level, but you would go to a lot of the games here, and back in the day, you could see there'd be a team or two would have like kick-ass linemen and a great quarterback and a good returner, but it was like kind of a hodgepodge. Right. And now, I mean, with what South is doing with the rules in the state, they're just pulling these dudes in, and it's ridiculous level at, you know, putting an all-star team together, and it's not like college where you need more than 2-3 hot shit guys. Here you can get away with it and just crush people.
Yep. So we'll see what that looks like when the 2026 Nebraska high school football season commences. Dondre does say that they should have the west side of Miller South game at Memorial Stadium. I think that'd be a bad. I think it would be bad to do that, and because you're pulling, the economic funds away from that school. I understand where you're coming from, Don. I just that would be I think about it. If they meet there in the state championship, that'd be one thing. But
yeah,
I mean, there's so few.
And that's where they'll land, but you don't want to pull it out. You don't want to do that. I said pull it out. Yes, you don't want to put it there because it's so much better when it's in one home team, their location, and it's rabid and all that. You put it out there, you're not nearly going to get the crowd. Just not.
Then you're going to ask people to drive 45 minutes or an hour or whatever it is to Lincoln, and then you be boosting Lincoln's economy. But I think that prep football needs to stay at the home at a school stadium. So, all right, let's take a look here. I don't know if anybody else saw this from on Coronation from James Clow on today, just this morning. Can Nebraska football rediscover an offensive identity this season? Now, no Emma Johnson. We are, I think the prevailing thought is that Anthony Calandri is going to be the starting quarterback. I'm not like throwing out the idea of TJ Lateef still. I know, but I think both players have a lot of upside. Calandri has a little bit more starting experience, but I don't know. When you think about Nebraska football in 2026 and you think about the offense, what type of I think that's the biggest thing that Nebraska's been missing for the last 15 years is an identity on offense, and maybe probably more than 15 years.
We haven't had one since forever. I mean, you beat the dead horse, you go back to Frank, and we kind of did what we used to do back in the day. And then Callahan had the West Coast offense. That was the identity, but it was not consistent. Bo came here, and I mean, it was just his offense was weird because we tried to be like zone read, but then a little bit of power, and it had no definition of anything. And it was a lot of quarterback stuff too. And then other years it was just play it safe and let the defense win the game. Riley, we tried basically like UCLA style football or, Pac-10 candy ass shit. That was like so Frost came in, we're going to run Oregon stuff. It looked okay for 5 minutes. Yeah, we've not had a true identity. And then Rule, I mean, initially he said, when I was at Temple, we ran the ball and you got to be tough and cold weather and blah, blah, blah. And then he switched to Holgerson, and we're trying to do a hybrid of Holgerson versus I don't know what. And yeah, I don't know. I think honestly he just needs to let Holgerson do what he wants to do. And now Holgerson said he's pro offense, pro style. He's evolved. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know what we're going to be. Wish we had something. Yes.
As Vince says, Dana's still trying to run, I'll say Satterfield's offensive line or offense. Don't think they've given him the reins totally. But I'll say this. We had cement foot, lead foot, Dylan the last couple of years, and TJ has shown to be a little bit more dual threat, and Calandri is, coming in expected to be dual threat. So I don't think that this offense is going to resemble much of what we've seen in the past, where Dylan was, at least on paper, supposed to be a more pocket passer, more traditional style. And I I don't think that's going to be where we're headed this year. TSD says he's still not convinced with our running back situation. I said this before. I really like Mekhi Nelson. I think that just like Emmett Johnson needed the reps to show that he's the guy, I feel like there's somebody else who's going to step up and be that guy. So,
and again, the O-line will make the room look better. Like, we have different types of backs, got Ja Rule out there, all of it. I think the key is the O-line will make somebody will emerge. I'm not concerned. It's like, now, like we have 5 jabronis there. It's like they all have skill sets and they're all good. They're here for a reason. So I don't sweat the running back thing at all. I don't know why people are getting so angsty about it.
Melissa says we're going to be a gunslinger offense. Now that needs to be our Halloween black alternative. We need every offensive player coming out of the tunnel in dusters and, put some spurs on the back of their cleats, get them a nice Val Kilmer hat.
Sounds like a mini fever dream, Greg. I don't know what that's all about, but
wait, a mini MINI or a mini who's our friend and co-host who's in the chat tonight?
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying, but I agree with what
some Doc Holiday hats. Come on, let's do it.
Yeah, Huckleberry. But yeah, I actually agree with what Melissa says because it's a young gun style. Yep, we'll never see it. But no, I
there
agree.
We go. A few TDs more.
No, I agree, and I think that's how Calandria plays. He is a gunslinger. We've watched the footage, all the highlights. They look great, but he takes a lot of chances too. So it's like he'll scramble, he'll wing it. It's a little bit hit or miss, but I will take that over what we've had versus a check down king that's going to stand there for 5 minutes, then throw to the running back, as John Madden used to say, why do you run the pass for none yards? Like he throws to the, it's like it's nothing. And I think Calandria is always moving forward, everything I've seen. So I'm fine with the Riverboat Gambler. Let's do it.
Yeah, I don't need, like you said, I don't need a bunch of checkdowns just to preserve a 67 to 70% completion rate.
Yeah, terrible. Sucked.
Yeah. Like, what's the point of completing 70% of your passes if go to 3 to 5 yards?
We saw that when Callahan was here and Marlon Lucky was a running back. Me and my friend Paul would joke about, Lucky caught like 15 passes for, 20 yards. Like, it was just nonsense. It was just like bullshit. High Mountain guy. Have we bashed Dylan Bennett? No, not really.
Not adequately.
No, never. I'm my New Year's resolution. I'm going to lay off of Dylan. So there's that.
Husker Mini says, or Husker Mini, I have to say Mini. Mini says on Amazon ordering a gunslinger duster now.
Do they make them like in a short version? Because you're going to be tripping over that thing.
Just buy a child's medium.
They probably have those at Kohl's or something. You could probably get that there. Yeah.
We're having some fun. We're about to wrap up the show, but I want to preview what you all can expect to see on Corn Nation, and I believe it's going to be tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Our good friend Nate McHugh has an article going up that says it's for the Friday Flakes. If you're not familiar, if you don't go to Corn Nation often enough, the Flakes are dropped every day. It's just a collection of links of interest, and a lot of times they're obviously Nebraska sports links, other things maybe around college athletics, and a few oddball topics. But Nate poses the question. It's right there in the title. Where does Western Nebraska actually start? Now, before you answer this question, as a born and bred Omaha Fred, I took a picture of that. You're welcome. I took a picture of that title and I sent it to him, sent it to Nate, and I texted him Ogallala. And he said that I was crazy. I said, well, think about it. North Platte is central Nebraska. North Platte, you go out further, you got to get Ogallala. You don't want to say Scottsbluff or Sydney. I said, by the way, Hastings and Grand Island is where eastern Nebraska starts. So as a lifelong Eastern Nebraskan, I would like you to weigh in just so I can tell you you're wrong. As a
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
even think about the geography, Craig. It's like, to me, nothing to the west of us is like anything. Just not being a dick, but being a dick. Like,
kind of.
honestly, I mean, I always remember like North Platte and GI seemed like they were just a million miles away. So it's like it was so far out. And but then you talk just the panhandle, is that the west? Yeah, it's like I don't know. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not a big, and people want to make it tribalized like Eastern, Western, North, whatever. It's like I don't care. It's just fucking Nebraska. It is a million miles away. I think it's like 4 hours or something. That's a lot for me. I don't know.
Nebraska
There you
Strong
go.
says North Platte's the dividing line. Anything west of North Platte is Western Nebraska.
Okay.
High Mountain Guy says that Grand Island is only 88 miles from Lincoln. So like I could realistically, especially on I-80, where at least last time I was through there, the speed limit is 80 miles an hour. I could get from Grand Island to Lincoln in an hour. I don't know. Do you take offense to Vince Watson's comment here? Omaha's the blue butthole of the state.
It is.
Okay.
I'm in it. Don't care for that, but that's how it is right now. So
I think he meant something. I interpreted it as blue like Creighton. So I think he maybe went a different
there's
direction.
another blue, and it's still kind of butthole-ish, but whatever. Nobody fucks with me, and we have our house. Nobody bothers us, and we do our thing. And Omaha will do what Omaha does, and the taxes keep going up, and eventually we could leave. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll join Greg in Belleville. I can do a show with him and be at the brewery.
Oh, the brewery's not there anymore, sadly.
Well, you only had one? What kind of one horse town do you live in? Good Lord. You're like 10 here.
Sorry. We can go to St. Louis and go to Schlafly. Or we can go to Four Hands or Citywide. I mean, we go drink some good beer in St. Louis.
Four Hands. Is that Mel Tucker? Can't remember. It's One Hand. Never mind.
Nope. By the way, Vince Watson says Valentine.
I think I've seen it. Four Hands.
Gary says Kearney. Let's see. Gearing is 6.5 hours away from something. I don't know. North Platte to Grand Island is central Nebraska. Agree to disagree.
Okay.
I'm from Southern Illinois. Listen to my opinions about.
I'm just saying. I'm here in Omaha, and I lived in P-Town, Plattsmouth, even more southeast Nebraska. I don't know what the dividing line is for culture or whatever. It's like anything a few hours away is too much for me. So get past that, west.
In my time in the Panhandle, which was again 20 years ago, the general consensus by people out there is they felt very much, forgotten about, maybe neglected. Maybe they were happy with that, but they thought that everywhere past Hastings and Grand Island, you Lincoln and Omaha folk are like, that's Western Nebraska. That's practically Wyoming. So
I could see that for some.
And Matt says we should all move to Arthur, Nebraska.
Arthur. Dudley Moore Arthur or just Arthur?
No, Arthur, Nebraska. Hey, there's Arthur Municipal Airport. Has a population as of 2020 of 128. So if we all move there, we'll double the population.
Wow, we could do that. That'd be great.
It's in Arthur County, which is also, I think I actually saw this place on it may have been on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives or something. Or there was something. There was like a traveling eatery YouTube channel or Facebook page or something like that, and they stopped at this little tavern. I think it's like the lady who runs the post office owns the tavern or something, but you can go there and have a fantastic burger. I don't know.
It's hang on. It's I know what you're talking about now.
Okay, good. Because
I can't think of the town, but yeah, it's the population was 1. We watched a documentary on YouTube about her, and she was in her 80s a little bit. Yep. Munawai, yes. Yep, Matt. Yep, and James Boardman, yes. Munawai, Nebraska. Yeah.
Interesting.
She ran everything, and she's like, I'm the mayor too, so fuck it. Like, she just total autonomy. She was great. Yep.
Speaking of running the show, Roger Moore says it's the midterms. Fred for governor.
I could do that.
Okay.
I'm not.
Next week we'll work on your platform.
Yeah, I have a platform in mind, but it's like I can't be crooked like a politician. I'm fair and balanced. I'm straight, like straight as a grizzly's dick. Like I'm just like that straight. Like I just don't fuck around. Like, so I couldn't probably be a politician. So I don't know if it'd work, but I would try.
Okay.
Good, at least half you guys in the chat would vote for me. I imagine. So there's that. Minnie would too, even though she's not here. But
I mean, here's the thing. I live in Illinois, but the way voting in Illinois happens is there are a lot of like non-residents and dead people who vote anyway. So I'll vote for you.
Good deal. Let's do it.
I remember this is a real thing. I'll never forget this. Back and this is gonna be our last little anecdote before we head out. Back before everything was like QR codes, I remember listening to a St. Louis Cardinals broadcast on KMOX out of St. Louis, and it was easily, 20 or year 2000 or 2002, something like that. And Mike Shannon, who was doing some broadcasting at the time, of course he's passed since then, but Hall of Fame broadcaster. It was one of those, you have to go on MLB.com and vote for the all-star, all-star game rosters. And he says, yeah, vote like they do in Chicago, early and often. I was like, that's good. That stuck with me all these years.
Great line. No, that's perfect. That's awesome.
All right. James also says Fred drinks less than our current governor.
Possibly. I don't know.
Not based on the drinks that you share with me, my friend.
Pillen had a great, he had a great run as a player. So there's that. Big interception at one point, but I never did anything great for the state. But maybe it's my time. 51. Fucking doing it.
Here we go. I think Roger Moore gave us almost 50 minutes ago your potential political platform. I want you to think about it and bring it back to us polished and ready for next week. But he says, wishing peace and love for all humanity and to beat Iowa.
Yes, I could make that just a little bit dirtier, but yeah, we're working on that. Yeah. Okay. Right. Thank you, Roger. Whew.
Well, good. That'll do it for this episode of the Five Heart Podcast. We are just, don't worry, folks, we are just as eager to get back to the season as you are. There's not. I just heard a weird sound from my storage room, so we're going to end the show, and I'm going to go.
Oh, I thought you were looking at the calendar to see how far away we were from the.
No, like there was season. Like something that, like something. It wasn't terribly loud, but it just, I feel like there's just a mess that I'm going to have to go clean up.
It's probably going to be like The Grudge, those or the Ring, and Minnie's going to scuttle out like backwards and upside down, and wreck your computer or some shit. But yeah, good luck with that, Greg.
Yeah, so wish me luck. We'll see you all next week. Fred, thank you, all you wonderful folks in the chat or who are watching, even if you're not commenting along and being. We appreciate you spending some time with us tonight, and we'll see you next week. Same Husker time, same Husker YouTube channel coordination, of course. So for Fred Sacco, I'm Greg Mahochko. This is the Five Heart Podcast, reminding you each and every week that Five Heart is all the heart you need. Fred?
Oh, God. Put me on the spot all the time. I don't know.
How damn difficult is it to say go Big Red?
Just go Big Red. Fuck it. Go home, Greg.
Okay. I am home. All right. Bye.
Me too.